boys, gals, non-binary pals, it's Thursday, it's 9 p.m. That means it is once again time for the WIN-terview. Oh, it hurts me every time because it's a pun. It is the only interview you can win. Yes, you, wherever you are. This time, actually, wherever you are, because tonight's prize is a Steam copy of Fall Guys presented and provided by our guest one, Miss Crystal Pisano. How are you?
I'm doing so well, and I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on, because, I mean, like, as I say every week, I'm making a game show in my basement here, so I'm happy that you would be willing to come and be a part of this, because you're involved in a lot of high-profile stuff, Crystal.
I'm not. I'm like the low-profile person that is a part of things where other people are high-profile.
You know, but if you were on the 1992 Chicago Bulls, you still got a ring. Like,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You still get that championship ring. Sure. Was everyone there for Michael Jordan? Yes, they definitely were. But you know what? You still get that ring.
And then I could also be in Space Jam, which honestly, that's the dream, right?
Always is. I'm excited about Space Jam 2.
I am also excited. When it comes to sequels to like movies that I love from my childhood, there are moments where, like, at one point years ago, they were saying that they were going to remake or do a sequel to Drop Dead Fred, and I nearly lost my mind. They didn't end up doing it, but like, stop, just like let me in. And then of course they do good things, like the first Jumanji remake was really good. Yep. But then the second one was hot garbage. So like,
yeah, I more liked than didn't like the remake of Ghostbusters. I liked the remake more than I did Ghostbusters 2. So I was hopeful for that.
I loved the new Ghostbusters quite a bit.
Yes. So I don't know. And here's what scares me, but in like the best way, because I'm not even going to me, it's not even going to be a part of the franchise, is that it looks like it is not the Looney Tunes. It is just like horror figures from movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a lot of like, they show pictures of like him and Chucky and like him and Jason.
How have I not seen this?
I'm like, are they the Monstars? I hope they're the Monstars, because if the Monstars are like Freddy Krueger and Jason, I am super here for it.
I'm intrigued. So,
but me too. Even if it's bad, I think I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
We got a couple people saying hi here. Let's take a look. Gene Moore says, good evening. Good evening, Gene. Thanks so much for coming out.
Hi, Gene.
What the fug? I think that's how that would be, right?
Winnie the Pooh hug. I actually know this only because they've shown up in Twitch chat over on the Board Game Blitz Twitch channel, and I had to ask.
I'm glad you are here to fix that, because I was willing to just leap forward.
No, I did the exact same thing you did. I called them what the fug for like a while, and then I was like, I should probably get some clarification on that.
Well, Winnie the Pooh hug, welcome. And CRL, but you, thank you so much for coming out. And as you all know, you out there, you that I'm pointing at a little aggressively, let's be honest, you have a chance to win. Let's show you how you do that. Let me bring up the board. So in just a little while, we have asked Crystal just a whole bunch of 50-50 questions. She has selected 10 of them. If you can predict her answers the fastest, you have a chance to win our lovely prize tonight provided by Crystal. That is going to be a copy of Fall Guys on Steam, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But if you want to get in the game, and why wouldn't you? It's free. Get on any browser-based device. That's your phone, your tablet, or another window, although that other window is going to be real tough to do. Go to crowd.live, enter the code VAQGZ. VAQGZ.
That sounds awfully Klingon, I have to say.
It very much so. VAQGZ is how you get in. A quick note, I'll say it a couple times. I'm going to say it first here. Once we get into that part of the show, just stare at your phone. Things are not going to be timed correctly because who knows where you are. And from where we are, there's going to be an awful lot of lag. So stare at your phone. The phone's always going to be the ultimate arbiter of time and score and all that great stuff. So let's jump back. We'll let you know a couple more times how you can play that. So let's step back out here. Crystal, so much going on for you.
Honestly, I've been incredibly busy the past few weeks, which seems odd considering I basically haven't left my house.
I totally get that. So like, how is the life of like being in the house treating you?
You know, it's okay. Working from home, I actually really enjoy. And I have been connecting with board game friends via my computer a lot more than I typically would be. So,
Okay.
you know, while a lot of people, I'm similarly feeling like I'm missing conventions and other in-person events for sure.
Yeah.
I also have been connecting with some of those faraway friends more regularly, even if those connections are, you know, via the internet. So,
Yeah.
in a perfect world, there would be no pandemic. But considering that there is a pandemic, I'd say I'm enjoying it as best I can.
I often say to people, this is the coziest end of the world.
It kind of is.
You know, like the whole reason this is happening, gold background, everything, is because of the pandemic. If that hadn't happened, I don't know that time would have stopped enough. And the requirement to like look at what could be done. I think a lot of amazing creativity is happening right now for exactly that same reason, because we're like, well, I can't go out and I'm real bored here. So how about I start a game show in the basement? I got nothing else. What else is going on?
Right?
You know?
I've streamed more on Twitch the past, 6-7 months than ever before, because I'm literally, I would just be sitting at home and I'm doing something like playing Fall Guys. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to play it anyway, I might as well just turn on OBS and let other people watch me play.
Absolutely. So let's do, before it came out, people kept sending me messages everywhere. Cause you know, party games. They're like, Bruce, you got to get it. You got to get it. You got to get it. And I was like, I totally will. But then I got invested in like 3 other video games and forgot to. So talk to me, Crystal. Talk to me about your experiences. Why do I need to get this? Although I'm already going to get it, but tell me why I need to.
So what's interesting, I actually hadn't heard anything about Fall Guys until the weekend it released. So it came out and like I heard about it right then, and I was like, oh, it's a battle royale game. I'm not good at those. You know, I Fortnite is literally so far from my skill set. I will never. Yeah. And the only battle royale game I had played and enjoyed previously was Tetris 99, and I was like, okay. I looked at the graphics for this game and I was like, that's very much my aesthetic. Mm-hmm. Like bright colors, cute things. I was like, this seems like whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not going to buy it though, because it'll eventually come out on the Switch. And I don't need to buy it on my PC and on my Switch, so whatever. And then I was like, oh, it's exclusive for a long time though. But okay. And then all of a sudden I had purchased it on Steam and started playing it. And it is the cutest battle royale game that exists currently. But it's not like kid cute. It's just cute. Okay. And what's neat about it is it levels the playing field in a way that I think a lot of battle royale games don't. Like Fortnite, for example, if you're not good at Fortnite, you're going to get eliminated probably just about immediately in most games. Whereas so Fall Guys is like the TV show, for those of you who are not familiar, it's like the TV game show Wipeout and Mario Party if they had a baby and that baby was this game.
Yeah, when people were telling me about it, the first thing they told me about was the aesthetic of it. Mm-hmm. And then they said it's kind of like Takashi's Castle.
Yes, it is. Yeah, MXC was what it was here when it got into the States. Yeah, it's literally just like tiny jelly beans throwing themselves off of cliffs for fun. And each stage is a little bit different and they require different skill sets. And all of the stages are approachable. Like none of them are so impossible that you're going to start and go, I just can't do this. And it's easy to get better at the game. I'll admit, like, I was horrible when I started playing it a few weeks ago, and I'm actually kind of okay at it now.
And as a note, Marion McBride noting, I'm so bad at Fall Guys. Does anyone ever win? And that's why I thought I would bring that up, because you're talking about you've got some wins.
I've got 3 legit crowns in Fall Guys. Nice. So technically I have 5 total because the game gives you some for free at certain levels. But yeah, I have 3 wins, and I was so close to my 4th the other day. I was literally just right there, and it was just
very good. Sorry, I was reading a long thing that was coming across. So let me put that up, and then we can discuss it together.
Okay.
I'm taking notes here on how to run practical game shows in order to raise the entertainment value of my classroom review games. Here's the key. I'll give you the ultimate key. Have good guests. Have good guests. That's how you do it. If you have a good guest, you have a good show. That's what I've learned. We have another question here. Where did you get your t-shirt?
Honestly, I think I got it on Amazon of all of it's, okay, here's the thing. I don't want to say that I'm okay with our robot overlords taking over the world, but the algorithms that govern the internet seem to have figured me out. And so then occasionally I get ads for products on Amazon like this shirt. And I'm like, well, I don't want to tell them that they were right, but click.
I feel that's the way sometimes when they feed me games I've never heard of. Because there's like a whole genre of games where they are like, I'm trying to say this and not sound too negative towards them, but they're like not good games, but they sell a lot on Amazon, and that's their job. Like they figured out how to gear into Amazon, and every once in a while they'll be like, hey, Bruce, here's this completely trite game about kitty cats. How do you feel about that? And I'm like, oh, Amazon, I know better, but maybe I'm going to buy this. You might be right, but I know it's trash. I know, I can tell I know enough about games, but also cats.
But also cats.
Have me.
Yeah.
So there's been some crazy news today. I'll bring this up just because you mentioned Tetris 99. So have you heard about all the new stuff that's coming out for Super Mario Brothers?
Oh my gosh, Bruce. I'm so excited. Super Mario 3D All-Stars, right?
Yes.
I'm very excited. I almost already pre-ordered it, but then I got distracted by my actual work today, because jobs and all of that. But I will be pre-ordering the physical cartridge because I try and buy most of my larger Switch games in cartridge form rather than in digital download form, and I'm very excited about this one.
So then did you also hear about Super Mario 35?
Oh, yeah, so this is the Battle Royale game, right?
This is the one that plays like Tetris 99.
Yes.
But it's 35 people playing Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, and when you kill enemies on your screen, they get sent to other people's screens.
Yeah.
I will be bad at that, but that's, again, for me, these Battle Royale games that are more simple at their core, I think are the most fun. Like,
definitely.
You can be good at it and lose, or you can be bad at it and maybe have a chance at winning. And it's also just like nostalgia and so like feel good.
And like, I think a thing Nintendo does well, and they really did it with Tetris 99, is it has what I like to call the big fight feel. When you're in that, you have that like, I'm not sure. Do you remember the movie The Wizard?
The Wizard.
About the kid that made it to like the World Nintendo Championships and then got like the Power Glove.
So I remember it existed. I don't know if I ever saw it.
You didn't need to. Everything you need to know about that movie, I just told you.
Perfect.
However, it gave you that like big fight, Madison Square Garden, but we're playing Tetris kind of feel to it. And I think it does that so well because when things are happening, like your heart rate's getting up, and even if you lose, you're like, oh, but in like the best way.
Yeah, for sure. I've actually been watching the limited run series on Netflix that's about the kind of the history of video games.
Yep.
And it's been, I've heard some criticisms about the series overall. I've only watched a couple of episodes, but it is fascinating to hear from the people who were creating some of those early video games, like why they made the decisions they did and how things came about. And it's amazing to me how much luck and happenstance went into the fact that video games even still exist today.
Oh, definitely. And I think like for anybody that's thinking about watching on Netflix, one of the things I thought was so cool, and I think it's also some of the criticism it's taking, were the stories of inclusion that they kind of found and grabbed and noted. Like, here is a case where the #1 champion of the first major US video game tournament was a trans woman that played video games so that they felt like they were their true self when they may not be it on the outside.
Yeah.
And you're like, what a cool story. Like, there's a story I haven't heard before that was really cool. Or another one of the stories is about a black guy that worked for EA Sports and was the first person to say like, hey, crazy thing, y'all. Madden. The guys in Madden don't look like the guys on the field, and maybe they should. And that was, that was a big move and super important to representation in video games. So I think it's just kind of neat they found some of those stories that like often get overlooked in these histories of video games.
Absolutely. I'm loving those parts of the show so far.
Yeah, very, very cool. So we were talking about the video games you're playing, and I think it is important to note because I believe a lot of really cool things happened while you were playing Fall Guys. You are doing Extra Life this year.
Yes. So I've done Extra Life kind of like sporadically over the past, I want to say 5 or 6 years. Like I've done it, I think 3 or 4 times now. And usually in the past, I did it more traditionally where I invited friends over to my house and we did a big long marathon day. I've never done a full 24 hours because I don't know if you know this, Bruce, but I tend to be a very happy and peppy person.
Yep.
If I do not sleep, all of that melts away and I become the crankiest human on the planet. We did an 18-hour stream once, I think. Like we did 18, and by the end of it, we were playing the lightest party games and I was such a grump. So needless to say, I've learned my limits. And this year, since we had to do it online anyway, Ambi, my co-host on Board Game Blitz, we did live streaming on our Twitch channel almost all day for 2 days straight, with a big old break in between the 2 days for sleeping, because we can do whatever we want. There's no rules.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we streamed board games, video games. We did karaoke. We did Jackbox games. We did a whole bunch of different things.
So how has that gone for you? Because I know we at the Party Gamecast, which is a part of this huge umbrella, but we're going to be doing it, but closer to the date. And we've done the full 24 hours every year for about the past 6-7 years. And we usually do it live and in person. And it's the same deal. I get a mix of like grumpy and like old man tired. Yes. Where like my head nods down and people are like, "You're asleep, Bruce." And I'm like, "I'm just resting my eyes. It's good." So I completely understand what you're talking about. We are thinking of doing a 24-hour stream and just straight up like Jerry Lewis telethonning it. Where like by the end we're not making sense and we're falling on top of each other.
I honestly have no idea how anyone my age or older does that, because I'll be 36 this year. I'm not old, not young. It's whatever. But like I can't do that. I can't do 24 hours without sleeping, without completely wrecking myself for the next like 2 to 3 days. Like I just physically can't do it. So maybe I'm just not wired for it and other people are. I do not know.
I mean, I'll tell you the secret. You're just wrecked for 4 days.
I mean,
that's simple. It's not
like I have a life. I have a job. I can't do that. But yeah, you did ask how the Extra Life went. And
absolutely.
We honestly, I was blown away by the generosity of our viewers. Our goal for the weekend was to raise $1,000, which was more than I personally had ever raised in a single Extra Life event. So we set the goal at 1,000. I was kind of worried. I didn't know if that was possible. And by the end of the weekend, we had raised over $2,000 for Extra Life.
That is awesome.
I honestly cried, like on stream, fully just cried.
I completely get it. When you start to see those numbers and you understand how much you've helped. So specifically, which children's center is it that you're helping out there? Because all of it goes to the Children's Network, the Children's Miracle Network. Sorry, I lost a word in the middle. The Children's Miracle Network, but specifically, not only are you helping the umbrella, you normally get to pick a hospital. So what hospital are you helping?
So St. Rose Dominican, which is right here in Las Vegas, is the Children's Miracle Network hospital that I'm raising money for. And Extra Life has actually reached out. They reach out to all their people who participate and I think raise a certain amount of money. And they said if they wanted me to, they would be willing to connect me with one of the directors at that hospital. And I've considered doing that. It's tough because I would love to speak to somebody at that hospital. Children's Miracle Network is really important to me, but since we are still in the middle of a pandemic, I also recognize that like resources at a hospital are probably stretched pretty thin, and I don't want to make anyone there feel like they are obligated to talk to me because I raised money. I just want to thank them for the work that they're doing. So I need to reach out to Extra Life and say, you know, can I just send them an email and just like say, hey, I was really happy to be able to do this. Please don't respond. Please worry about, you know, your job and sick people and sick kids. Because I don't want to be a burden on them. Like, I just want to give them the money, but I also want to like tell them how grateful I am for the work that they do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. It was a really fun and emotional weekend for me for a bunch of different reasons.
And we're going to get into a little bit more of that in just a second. I'm going to take a couple of things that we have here in the chat because the chat has just built up and I've just done nothing with it.
Perfect.
So let me jump.
Is to just ignore the chat completely.
That's the plan. You know, I figure we just gab, people will deal with it.
Yep.
So going back to the Nintendo conversation, my Animal Crossing house is going to look legit. I would imagine. And
they
by
are
then,
releasing Mario themed furniture
Yep.
for Animal Crossing, which might. So I've fallen off of Animal Crossing. I got busy with Slay the Spire and now Fall Guys, and I needed to pick Animal Crossing back up. And Mario furniture is one way to get me to do that. Although that's not coming till like next spring, I think.
Yeah, I forget what they put on the timeline because I watched the whole video today. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then by that point, I just was already blown away with the fact that there's RC cars that are going to connect to your Switch. Like, I was already past that.
I cannot even imagine how much fun that's going to be.
What's going to be great is I was talking to somebody about it today because so one of the things I do is live entertainment, like for parties. And I was like, oh my goodness, once we can all like actually be in the same place again, which will eventually happen. I just don't know how soon. But once we can, a set of that in like a ballroom.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the amount of conventions that in 15 years are going to have people that know how to wire those and keep them together is going to be amazing, because I think that's going to be a huge con game, both for your video game conventions and for your board game conventions, because we're going to pretend that's okay because it can run around the outside of a convention center.
Heck yes, I'm 100% down. Whenever that happens in the future, I'm in.
Yeah. Craven Taco Bell says hi. Hi.
That is my friend Nick that I grew up with, and he lives in Missouri. So.
Hey, Nick, welcome. Nick, I want to take this moment to just personally say I'm sorry, because I know that the Mexican pizza is going to be gone and the shredded chicken is going to be gone. And it hurts me as well. We're going to have at least one Mexican pizza party between now and the end in November. And gosh darn it, I'm feeling for you right now.
Pour one out for the Mexican pizza.
Exactly. Let's take a look. Gene Moore had the Power Glove. It's not good. It's not good, but it looks awesome. Like,
see, and I never had the Power Glove, I don't think, but we did have Rob at my house when I was growing up. And I really, that's of all the nostalgia things that I wish I had a good copy, an NES with a copy of the games that Rob worked with. And like, I want to see that work nowadays.
You know, so there's a convention over here on the East Coast every year called MagFest, the Music and Gaming Festival. And one of the things they do is they have just some stuff like that's like Cold War era video gaming, that they have like one 75-year-old guy that can keep working. And he just sits there all show resoldering it together. And they still don't have a Robbie the Robot that I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think those are around at all anymore.
Next time it's set up, I'll take a look, because they have like every console that ever existed. They have them playable. So I'll have to look and see if I can at least take a picture so I can make you jealous that Robbie the Robot is somewhere.
Heck yes.
Marion has a Power Glove. It's awesome. And also she doesn't use it for anything at all. Let's see.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't make a good like pot holder, you know.
No, it's
too many electronics.
Trash pot holder. I still want to call you what the fug, but Winnie the Pooh hug. Noting how great that the documentary on Netflix is. It's not perfect. No documentary is going to be. You don't get 100% of every story from everywhere, but you get enough to understand like the experience through the eyes of like American consumers checking out video games. So well worth checking out. Apparently there's a puppy. Puppy. There's a puppy. Is there?
Oh, there is a puppy. I didn't realize he came in here. So they just came back from the vet. They got their teeth cleaned today. And so he's probably, oh gosh, that's the wrong direction. He's probably
buddy.
He's a little bit he was under sedation today. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't see you. Yeah, you look like you had a rough day. He had a tooth pulled. So poor little Sterling. I didn't realize he was back here.
My goodness.
We may have two other potentially drugged up puppies that will make appearances at some point, I guess, now that they are home. So
well, that's fantastic, because that was the name of my band in high school.
Drugged up puppies. I mean, honestly, that sounds like a band name.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a band name. Weird thing, we did Beatles covers, so it was so different from the music we made and the sound that we never took off because of that. A lot of people noting the way to get through 24 hours is caffeine, except for Ambi, who's like, yeah, you're gonna get wrecked. Don't get wrecked. Yeah, no, you definitely get torn apart. Ambi,
I can't do that.
Sleep. Let's take a look at Craven Taco Bell's back in. I wish I was man Crystal's Genie tweet the other day about recharging from 6 to 8 hours of gaming while getting sleep benefits would be amazing.
Yes. If I could play video games for 6 to 8 hours a day and then afterward feel like I had just gotten a full night's sleep, that's the dream, right?
Oh, absolutely. Let's take a look here. Give me just a second. I'm trying to process all these because a lot of these are just like, you're awesome, Crystal. Do you know how awesome you are? Which is great.
I can't process that type of information because, self-doubt and all of that jazz is a real thing.
Isn't it? Isn't it though?
It sure is. It doesn't matter how awesome you purport yourself to be. Inside, you're still like, but am I?
Yeah. It's always good to hear y'all. This is something I say it on every show. If you're out there, if there are podcasts, especially, I think more so even than video, but video as well. Say, hey, respond to some things in places, because anytime you make this, like at least right now, because we're making a live show, so we can see that you all are commenting and you're enjoying it, and it's good to feed off of. But if you're like making a podcast, you are throwing content into the void, and you never know if anyone likes it or cares. So always, folks that do that. It doesn't have to be money, although money helps. If you love podcasts that have a Patreon, help them out. But even if all you do is just go to some of their stuff and respond to tweets and tell them what you liked and didn't like about a show, it is amazingly helpful.
100%. And it's funny especially for us with Blitz, we've reached a point where some people think that we're big and therefore I guess that they think that they don't need to engage with our stuff, and other people might not know about us. So we're in this space where we get a decent number of downloads on our episodes, but still completely small compared to the big fish in even board game podcasting. And I'm begging people to respond to tweets and post on Facebook and things like that. But people say they like us, but it's hard when you're not getting the actual tangible feedback.
And that's something to remember. Even if that number's big, even if that number is 100,000, it is still just a number. And 100,000 downloads and no one talking to you, it is the same as 4 downloads and no one talking to you. It's just, you keep telling, you're like, well, I know that number's big. So people have to be out there, but no one's talking to me. I don't know. Smacky, but also a part of the New World Order notes. They had Robbie and the Power Mat. Did you ever play with the Power Mat, Crystal?
I had a friend that had the Power Mat. I never owned it. Man, no, because the track and field game, the amount of running that you had to, that's worse than the Olympics. You can't.
Unacceptable, and it was slippery.
Yeah.
I still remember almost breaking an ankle trying to run because my sock slipped.
Well, and things like the long jump, it's not a long jump in your room. It is on the game. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it's very weird. A note, another member, this time of the new board order. I didn't even know that Eric Bischoff had come over to the board game world and was bringing folks with him. But now I've learned today with so much New World Order over here. Domino's has a chicken taco pizza. That does not help. That does not fix this Mexican pizza issue, Steven.
Steven.
Drunk Puppy Power Glove Party. That would be a real good, that is a very good band name of this time right now that we are in.
Yep, 100%.
Ambi noting you're awesome.
Thank you, Ambi. I love you.
What the fug also noting you're awesome. I'm sorry, we need the poo hug. If you ever come back, next time I'll be good, but this time I can't get past it.
They don't mind. It's fine.
Andrew noting so true about that. Just reach out, talk to all your people. We got Flip Flory. I didn't realize the whole congregation was going to be here, and
everybody's here tonight.
Oh, and Andrew appreciates me. Oh, I got some love.
Yay! I appreciate you, Bruce.
I appreciate you too, Crystal. You're awesome.
You're awesome.
Oh, we're so cute.
We are.
Yeah.
You're adorable.
And let me do this. Let me jump over and just kind of show people what the other half of the show looks like for just a second, because here's how awesome Crystal is. I originally released what the prize was for tonight, and the prize was $5 because we have no budget on the show. And we have no sponsor for this episode. Crystal was like, "Are you serious?" And I said, "No, we're a small show. We have no sponsor." She was like, "Well, this is unacceptable. There's going to be an awesome prize if I'm on the show." And I was like, "That's great, Crystal. Our budget is $5. And you were like, "No, I will fix that then. I'm going to give you the greatest video game made right now, and we're going to give that away to somebody. So a copy of Fall Guys to our top player, completely furnished by Crystal. Thank you so much.
I just want more people to play this game because it's so much fun, and I'm loving it.
I'm super excited to try it out. I'm thinking like next Saturday when we stream over for the Party Gamecast, that might be a time to try it out, because everyone keeps talking about it, and I'm super excited. Although I've gotten very addicted to Captain Tsubasa, the new like Japanese anime soccer game on the Switch.
Interesting.
So like it plays like a real soccer game, but it's also an anime. So everything is a cutscene where you have to have a long story about how emotionally involved you are in playing soccer as a 14-year-old that's built like a full-grown man.
So it's like a video game version of the anime that's about like a volleyball team? Because I've seen that before, and I don't remember what it's called.
There is a whole subgenre of anime that are sports animes, like Slam Dunk and the one about volleyball. Captain Tsubasa is about a soccer player and his soccer team, and he's in like middle school, but he's clearly a full-grown man, but he's in middle school.
I mean, if we want to talk about people who
is that Trevor?
That's actually Trevor. That's a poster-sized version of Trevor on my wall.
Oh my! So here's the thing with perspective. I didn't know whether it was a close wall and a regular size card.
I won't be able to hear you for a second, but I'll show you how big the poster is.
Oh my word!
Let's see. Like this is like human-sized Trevor. Like
oh my goodness!
Like this is my boyfriend, Trevor.
Wow! Have you met my boyfriend Trevor? A note that you're literally the best person ever, and I believe we have spiked Flip Flory's blood sugar.
Yes! That was our goal for this evening. We can wrap it up. We're done now.
And I think we've won. We've won. So let's see. So the final thing I want to cover before we jump into the quiz show, which we're going to jump into in just a moment, is one other awesome thing happened during your live stream.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a whole thing. Set the scene. Tell people about it. Let them know, because I don't know if I can do it justice.
Okay, so I'll give the backstory first. I am in the process of getting divorced, which we don't have to dwell on. It's fine. It is what it is. But as part of that process, I needed to find a new place to live. My current house is still where my soon-to-be ex lives. And, generally when you get divorced, you don't stay living together. So I was shopping for a house. And on a Friday night, right before I decided to do a weekend-long streaming event, my realtor and I went out, looked at some houses, and I found one. And I was like, well, that looks great. I like it. Saturday morning, literally like half an hour before I'm going to start live streaming, we decide to put in an offer on said house. Because I don't like to do anything that's easy in this life.
Why?
And then I start streaming because that's the plan. And we're playing Fall Guys. And a bunch of people from that are watching the stream are also playing with me. So like the brothers Murph were playing, Nyabari was playing. And as we're in the middle of a level, I get a call on my cell phone. And I look down and I'm like, oh, that's my realtor. But she knows I'm doing this event today. Maybe I should answer. So I literally, holding the remote, I put the phone between my ear and my shoulder and found out that I bought a house. Stayed in the level somehow. Like, was on the phone for like 2 to 3 minutes and somehow it was stayed alive in Fall Guys, which everybody in the chat was going crazy about. They were like, how are you doing both of these things at the same time? I'm pretty sure I am the only person on the planet to buy a house while playing Fall Guys. Not that that's like a hard bar to cross over, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only one.
Take any of that kind of stuff you can get.
Right?
It doesn't have to be difficult. Take any world record that you can get your hands on.
Yeah, so needless to say, I literally broke down sobbing like while I was playing Fall Guys live on the internet because I was so excited that I got the house that I wanted. And closing date is September 28th. I'm just,
nice.
All of the big hurdles are already crossed. Everything is good, and we're just waiting to close at this point. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited. And as soon as the pandemic is over, everyone is invited to my house for game night.
So a couple things there. Flip Flory noting Trevor forever.
Flip is the one who got these posters made, so he deserves all of the credit for this existing.
Nice. Also, Darth Grader noting he's trying to match the colors in her hair. So the problem is like I am well deep into pandemic hair. Like this is horrible, and I've almost taken to just wearing a hat when I do this. But soon So
I was at that point, and then that's why I chopped half of my hair off, because it was all very much like that. And I got to the point where I was like, nope, can't, we got to get rid of it.
Absolutely. There's also, so this came up before, because Marion brought this up before, so I'll bring it up now so that you can shoot this down and we can go on about our lives.
Okay.
Thunderhawk!
This is... the rumor that is going around is that my new last name is going to be Thunderhawk, and I can neither confirm nor deny. I did change my Twitch username to Crystal Thunderhawk, so that did happen. But yeah, the name change process in the state of Nevada is a ridiculous amount of paperwork, so it'll be a little while before I get to announce my new last name, so we're just going to run with Thunderhawk for now.
Fair enough. I'd like to propose something, just because, I mean, it's well documented that I am, if nothing else, a fan of the pro wrestlings.
Yeah.
If this is the direction you go, could you drop the crystal and just be Thunderhawk?
I mean,
like as a wrestler or as a transformer.
So now the question is it like Madonna or Cher, single word Thunderhawk, or is it Thunder first name, Hawk last name?
So here's what it is. If anyone's talking to you, if you're signing anything, if anything is conversational, it's Thunderhawk, one word. However, on your government ID, it is first name Thunder, last name Hawk. So that one day when someone's like, hey, Thunderhawk, and you have to like present a card for them, they're like, it's really a first name, last name thing. And you're like, don't ask Thunderhawk about that. And like, just going about your day.
Ms. Hawk, could you please come to the front office? Like,
we're going to need Miss Hawk here.
And she always brings the thunder.
Yeah. A note that you did not drop the ice cream. Also, just note you're just super upbeat this year, and that's awesome.
No, I have to be. Like, here's the thing. Because I have, like, early in my tenure in board game media, people ask me, like, is this, like, an act that you put on? Is this, you know, because people do take on personas online, and no judgment to people who do that, like, at all. I think that that is a valid thing to do for certain people. Yep. I literally am just this person. And to that end, a lot of people love me, and some people absolutely cannot stand me. Like,
I get your pain.
Like, and that's the older I get, the more I am okay with that second part. Like, it is okay for some people to not jive with my loudness and my energy and my craziness and the colorfulness and the, you know, like the bunny hat. Like, this stuff annoys the heck out of some people, and that is okay. Yeah. But I am just going to be who I'm going to be.
So then have you found, because I would say everything that you just said, I feel real deeply.
You and I have a lot of similarities in this regard, for sure.
Have you found in some cases, I found these two things have occurred more than I ever thought they would. One, someone realizes it's not a put on, and they're like relieved. They're like, oh, this is you all the time. And then also, those people are great. And then exactly the opposite side, they're like, you can stop now. And you're like, look, I get it. This is who I am all the time. And they're like, oh, you have to live this? And then they like turn around and walk away. Like, they're so offended that it's not a put on. If you're like, oh, my last shred of accepting you as a human was that you were just really good at this bit.
Yep. And honestly, I know you all are saying that, like, when you do a 24-hour live stream, everyone is wrecked. But I think that's part of the reason why it is so difficult for me, is because my normal self is being on. Like, this is the way I live and exist in my normal life. And so doing a 24-hour live stream means I'm doing this for 24 hours straight. And no human can maintain that and not just break down at a certain point.
It is very exhausting.
Yeah, like, existing for you and I is tiring.
It can be. It can. I would say a lot of people saw that because because you and I never kind of ran in the same circles for these shows. But like the late night Gen Con, like, once you get through that fourth party because you're just supposed to be there, and you're like, look, you all seem like great people, but if I have to be me for 20 more minutes, I'm not going to say I'm going to stab one of you. But if you could just keep all sharp stuff away from me so that I don't turn into a person I don't like. Because right now I'm still a person I really like. And in like 15 minutes, I'm not going to be.
We're literally the same human.
Yeah, I totally. And there was a note. You're a human unicorn.
I mean, I try.
Yeah. And then, and also a human frappuccino, which
Ooh.
I'm going to assume is a compliment.
You know what? I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I'm sweet. People like me. And I probably have coffee in me, which is almost always true.
Very good. Very good. Note that the bunny hat's awesome.
It is a lot of fun. I might flippity flap it in a little while. We'll save that for later.
Very good. And Ambi has taken off. Everyone said good night. Thanks for showing up. You probably, I don't know, you may have left long enough ago that you can't hear this now, but thank you so much for showing up. So let's do this, because we've been talking for an awful long time. Let's jump over. Let's show everybody the quiz we're about to jump into. Once again to play, go to crowd.live, enter the code VAQGZ. We're about to begin. As a note, once again, when we get into this part of the game, pay attention to your phone because there's always going to be a lag, and the phone is where everything important happens. The faster you answer, the more points it's worth. So get in. It's better to be right and quick, but of the two, just be as fast as you can. Y'all, folks, that's how you win tonight. I'm killing this time a little bit just so I can get you ready. You're ready to go. The first question I feel like is not very difficult. We're starting kind of simple tonight, but I cannot tell you enough. Stare at your phone. Don't stare at us. It's all going to be out of time, but we'll probably talk a lot between questions, so it won't be that big a deal. Are you ready, Crystal?
I am ready.
Okay, let me hit the button. And then what I love is it doesn't know the number 9. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Oh, wait,
2.
There's a board
1.
game that stole it, right?
Indeed. Karaoke or trivia night. Now, you may think, Crystal, why is my picture up there? It's because you sponsored the game tonight, and the sponsor is on every single question.
Oh, no.
And you are our sponsor tonight. Hey,
So
everybody.
it's just me.
Karaoke or trivia night. Let's take a look and see how everybody thought. So this is a lot closer than I expected. 59-41 for karaoke over trivia. So what is it and why?
Admittedly, this one is not like the easiest question for me to answer. It is a solid karaoke for me, but I also do love trivia night. So it's not like it's only karaoke, but it's karaoke. My friend Elissa and I, when there isn't a pandemic going on, literally go to a place here in Vegas called Ninja Karaoke that has the private karaoke rooms.
Nice.
The two of us get a room to ourselves and sing show tunes. And I will also perform karaoke in front of a crowd. Like, I've gotten multiple stand ovations at karaoke bars, especially for my rap skills.
Nice.
When people hear me do White and Nerdy by Weird Al Yankovic, when I don't have to look at the lyrics, they kind of lose their minds.
That is very impressive. Because I remember at one point, I think you, Eric, I always want to call him Eric Sermon because of the rap producer, but it's not. You, Eric Summer, and I were talking about how I was going to get my karaoke stuff down to the hour. I remember that discussion because I remember the whole thing hinged on how many Weird Al songs do you have? And I had to look it up, and I was like, well, the service only gives me 15. And you were both like, oh, we'll find something we can steal and bootleg, Bruce. Don't worry.
I mean, honestly, some karaoke places have no Weird Al, so 15 is pretty good.
That's what I thought until both of you were like, I don't know. Looking at the board, Curse leading the game with 97, Gene with 95, Jamie tied with 95, but it doesn't matter because there's one prize tonight. Andrew, all kinds of other people are there. 17 in the game, and oh my goodness, there is so much game left to go. We're going to move on to question number 2. Here we go. Musical or magic show? Musical or magic show? Once again, tonight's top prize brought to you by Crystal.
It's brought to you by me.
Indeed. I'm really, the more that you've talked about, I'm really excited to get into Fall Guys.
I'm telling you, because people think Battle Royale games are unapproachable if you're just not good at that style of game. And I think Fall Guys is more approachable than almost anything. Okay, well, people are overwhelmingly.
So here's the thing. 18 people are currently playing the game. 19 technically are in, but 18 have answered the question.
You know, it's funny. I didn't actually realize or think about when I just said that I sing show tunes for 4 hours straight that might actually be a clue.
I knew what was happening, and I was like, I hope everyone's listening. So
They
I'm
sure
wondering, how was this? How was it 94 and not 100? That's what I want to know.
You know, one person had to pee and missed the last question, obviously.
Yeah. Or was like, no, I bet that whole thing was a trap.
Yeah, no,
the next question was.
I love musicals. I was very, very lucky as a young child that my parents had a season ticket subscription to Starlight Theater in Kansas City. And so I got to see between 4 and 5 Broadway touring productions every single year for like most of my young life. So very, very lucky in that regard. And I have always had a huge love of musicals.
So then I'm going to ask, because there's one that I think is a very polarizing musical I like to ask people about whenever musicals come up. What's your opinion on Cats?
So what's funny is I actually didn't see Cats until I want to say I was like late teenager or early 20s. I was, you know, as far as being a musical fan goes, I was old by the time I finally saw it. And
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people, it had been hyped up in my head quite a bit. I like a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber's other works, including some of his not great stuff or lesser revered things. Like I love Starlight Express and I don't care who knows it. I think it's great.
It's a musical roller skates.
Yeah, come on. It's a musical on roller skates.
Yeah.
It's great. Regardless, Cats, while it has some good songs, is entirely overrated as a musical, and it is not that good. Like
it's just not great. I do want to see the new movie for the pure spectacle that it's supposed to be.
Right. Like at this point, I feel like it's okay to watch it as a joke. Like if you know what you're getting into with that kind of thing, you can do that. But yeah, as far as Andrew Lloyd Webber's works are concerned, the ones that I've seen, I think it's my least favorite.
Leading the game with $1.90 is Curse. 2 points off is Jamie. 5 points off the lead in third place is Gene. And a note from Winnie the Pooh Hug. I'm trying, I promise you. I'm a crazy cat lady, and even I didn't like cats. So there you go. I have no more to say.
Yep.
We're going to move on to question 3. Bagpipes or kazoos? We were just talking about musicals just a second ago.
We were.
So, yeah. Which do you go with here? Do you take do you take the rich, warm flavors of the bagpipe, or the sweet aromas of the kazoo?
And what's interesting, and that nobody watching this would know, is that my lineage traces back to the Isle of Man. Like, I actually am part of a clan, if you trace my lineage back, and there's a tartan and all of that. So I have a lot of fondness for things that fall within that culture, and bagpipes are. But it's kazoos.
I was going to tease him a little bit more. I was going to be like, oh, then it looks like the whole route. No, the room got this right.
No, y'all know that silliness is my jam. And yeah, give me a kazoo all day. A slide whistle, any instrument that makes a silly noise.
I don't have it close. I keep a slide whistle around in case I need one, but I think it's upstairs. So you don't get the slide whistle today, folks, but maybe next week.
I don't have any musical instruments close. The only silly things that I have nearby are things like this, which...
Oh, nice. I just have like Cube. Hey, Flip.
Hey, wait, hold on. Wait, you Cube? Cube?
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, remember, if you want Cube, check them out from Top Shelf Fun. Top Shelf Fun, makers of Cube. Also, a previous sponsor. Thank you. So Curse still leading the game with 284, but coming up to competition, Gene with 283, 1 point off. Hard to do in this game. Jamie just 4 points off. Remember, first place will be taking home a Steam copy of Fall Guys. And let's jump into question number 4. 1 horse-sized dog or 5 dog-sized horses? So one of my questions here is, so we know what a horse-sized dog looks like. We've seen those. Have you ever been around tiny horses?
I mean, miniature horses are one of the cutest things in the whole world.
Aren't they amazing?
They really are. I have a coworker here in Vegas whose mom has miniature horses, and he shows me pictures of them, and I just want to go introduce myself to his mother, even though that's not necessarily an appropriate thing to do, because I'm just give me all the miniature horses.
You're like, look, I know it's not right. Can I snuggle that horse?
And it sure looks like the chat also likes dog-sized horses.
Yeah, 67-33, a full 2/3 of the room goes for 5 dog-sized horses. So here's the question. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. What's your choice here, Crystal?
Come on, y'all. I have 3 dogs. 1 horse-sized dog. Admittedly, my type of dog is the teeny kind. But it's still a dog. Like, you can still snuggle with it. And if I had a horse-sized dog, that would mean that I could ride it like a horse. I could take my dog anywhere. Why would you not choose that? Come on.
You could just saddle up a dog and roll.
Like, it would literally be my best friend and travel companion, and it would just be the most wonderful thing.
You would be the most ridiculous cowboy.
I really would.
So let's take a look. Curse leading with 372. Still Jamie 4 points off at 368. Shark! Do. Welcome to the game. 343 fighting for the top there. 18 people in the game. A lot of questions left to go. Let's move on to question number 5. Snoopy or Scooby-Doo? We were talking about dogs. Sometimes I try to tie these together in a way that makes logical sense. Snoopy or Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, I mean, they're both famous cartoon dogs.
Yes, the last time we did this with Sin Fong Lim. He actually worked on a Scooby-Doo game and picked this question. And he was like, oh, I wonder if you'll figure out. And I think it was the prize we gave away as well.
Can you see this? Sterling is back in the corner right now, just like sadly looking at the wall. Like, look at his...
What is going on?
He's a little bit loopy from the anesthesia. The poor little guy. Hold on, I'm gonna pick him up. I can't. Come here, buddy. Come here. It's okay. Oh my goodness. Come here. You had a rough day, I know. I can't handle it. Okay, we're good now. We got the puppy.
Poor guy.
Yeah, getting a tooth pulled is no fun.
Oh, goodness knows. So we're at 2971 for Scooby-Doo. As you dog and lap. What's the answer on this one?
It is 100% Snoopy.
Oh my goodness. So I, much like the room, need to ask, why?
I don't think I've ever watched an entire episode or movie or any piece of content that Scooby-Doo is in. This is not necessarily that I avoided it intentionally, but just like my childhood did not include Scooby-Doo. And Peanuts were my jam. Like, okay, here's a great story for you, Bruce.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, I learned to read at a pretty young age compared to a lot of kids, and I was reading pretty early. And I had this book. It was a giant, thick book that had just a bunch of Peanuts cartoons in it.
Okay.
And I loved reading the comic strips in it.
Yeah.
And I, for the life of me, got so confused because every now and then Snoopy's cousin, Spike, from Needles would show up.
Yep.
And he would always have a TV with him. And I, being born in the mid-'80s, would always be like, why is the TV saying, Colonel Hogan? What does that mean? I don't understand. What is colonel? Because I was a child who could read, and I didn't know. The word colonel made small Crystal feel very dumb. So that is like my most notable Peanuts memory.
Oh my, I didn't expect that this was also going to be the answer and a slightly traumatic memory.
I mean,
I did not expect that.
I was proud of myself that I could read, and the word colonel baffles me to this day.
As a person that does cold reading, because that's one of the things I have to do is just like look at a script and read it. I did minor league baseball and stuff like that. That is still one I will mess up like 90 times out of 100. Yeah. 92 times out of 100, I will mess that up. We have a note piece saying, hey.
Patricia!
And a note, dang, I would have stuck with my gut feeling of Snoopy. You should have, but here's what the board looks like. Shark leading the pack with 434, pulling away from David B with 410, and Ashez Cassell, probably butchered that, and I'm so sorry. 374, so we are starting to see pack leaders here, but we have half a game to go. There's still a lot of time on the clock. Here's your next question. Fruitcake or eggnog? I put 20 questions out there, and sometimes I say, no one's going to take this, but I need to fill up 20 questions. And then sometimes I see those questions come back, and that's where we are. It has gotten Yuletide AF, y'all.
I mean, these are both very divisive. Like, people have strong opinions on these things.
Oh, definitely. Now let's see what they think your opinion is. Wow. Wow, 94-6 eggnog?
A lot of people hate eggnog. I'm surprised by this.
Yeah. So, but the question is, as we've stated before, it doesn't necessarily matter what they think. It matters what you think. So what's the answer on this one?
I mean, the answer is clearly eggnog.
Yeah.
I love eggnog, and I don't really drink much nowadays. So what I do in the wintertime is I will actually because eggnog's real thick. Like, drinking it by itself is a lot. And if you're not putting anything else in it of the adult variety, I will actually get some 2% milk just to kind of thin it out a little bit. But man, I love me a good glass of eggnog.
Crystal, it is terrifying how similar we are. Because I was waiting for you. I literally was like, she's going to say something about putting whiskey in it. And I'm going to go, oh, well, that sounds like a thing an adult would do. But I'm a child, so I thin it out with 2% milk because it's a lot to do.
Yup.
Yeah.
And I once in a while, I'll do a little bit of amaretto or something like that. But I'm not really a drinker. So.
Same way. Same way. I don't knock it. If that's what you do, you keep doing you. It ain't my scene.
Yep.
More people hate fruitcake, and then I actually like fruitcake. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. And there we go. Patricia noting, like a lot of folks, add a little extra brandy. Thin that right out.
It sure will.
Andrew noting, brandy or rum. That'll do it. That'll do it. Let's take a look and see how this changes the game. Probably not a lot at all. Shark breaking the 500 club. David B. not far behind, 17-point game. Jamie at 467, a 19-player game. As we head into question number 7, here we go. Arrive late or go home early. I figured we were in that Yuletide party thing that we were doing that requires that I try to move like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Winnie the Pooh in for the rum. That was, if I know nothing about that bear, it's a deep love of rum. Let's take a look. Let's see how the room is voted. You can't go down the middle than this. 47-53. We do not have an even number of players. 17 people responded. So you are going to break some hearts with this one, Crystal. What's the answer?
I am livid when people show up late to a thing. Therefore, I cannot be late to a thing. So it is definitely go home early for me. As we mentioned earlier, Bruce, and I wanted to respond when you were talking about it earlier, but
Uh-oh.
That's the dog whining. She's fine. She's fine. She's just wanting attention. So you were talking earlier about the whole, if I don't leave in 15 minutes, y'all aren't going to like me. And I wanted to say, me too, me too, me too. But I knew that I'd be spoiling this question. So I tried to hold back.
Fair enough. And you know what I'm happy to hear here is that I was getting terrified that we actually were the same person. And I'm happy to see that we're not.
Okay.
Because unless there is a stack of money, and I mean like a legit measurable stack of money, I am not on time to anything. It's horrible. I've tried to break it, but I'm exactly the opposite on this.
It's hard for me living in Vegas because, when I was growing up, it seemed like people were on time more often.
Yeah.
And Lana is fine. You're fine. You're fine. I know. But now, in Vegas, everybody's late to everything. Every meeting at work, every dinner, everything. This drives me bananas. So I am not allowed to judge other people for being late if I myself am late. Therefore, I am on time or early.
Fair enough. You're like, I don't get to be a jerk unless I do the thing. And I also like being a jerk. So
I mean, sometimes, yeah.
No. I absolutely agree with that concept where it's like, oh, if I didn't do the thing, I don't get to be a jerk. And sometimes that's kind of what I want to do. So I'm going to do the thing so that if I'm going to be a jerk, you can't tell me I'm also a hypocrite. Let's see how this changes the board. Shark from bell to bell doing well at this 603.
Wow.
David B at 584. Jamie at 557. The top 3 still look very similar. There are 3 questions left in the game. There's still time to get in 300 possible points if Shark can just miss something. But Shark has not missed a thing. And Gene is very unhappy. Turns out I don't know Crystal.
Oh, gosh.
You know what? That means that this was a good show. You've learned some things. As we move on to question number 8, driver or shotgun? This was another one. I'm not going to lie, Crystal. This was a filler question.
You know, I removed this at first, and then I decided to put it back.
Okay. This one is, I want to say I've put it up a bunch of times because I use like a bank of about 150 questions. And I kind of go like, oh, this will be fun. This will be fun. This will be fun. Then sometimes like, oh, let's just see what happens. And I want to say this one maybe has been turned down a few times before we get here.
Yeah, no. So this one I think I picked specifically because I believe it is interesting for me as a person. Okay. Because are we talking about driver or shotgun in like a metaphysical sense, or are we actually talking like when you're in a car, driver, shotgun? Because I took it to be the latter. And I would say if we're talking metaphysical, like life, I'm the driver.
Yeah.
But if we're getting into a motor vehicle, who's driving? Please tell me someone else is driving. I do not want to drive. I will sit anywhere else in the car but the driver's seat given the option. Shotgun all day.
So then here's the question. Did you answer this as a literal car or as the metaphysical existence of being?
I answered this as a literal car.
There you go. Shotgun would be the answer. 65% of the room missing that. Figuring, and that's what I love about the way these questions are worded, is that you can do whatever you want to with them. I'm not here to tell you how to live. I'm not.
Right, and I think most people who know me and my content would assume like I'm fairly take charge. I'm outspoken. I'm, outgoing. Like, why wouldn't Crystal drive? Well, I just hate driving. I just hate it. And if I don't have to drive, I choose not to. So,
Shark still getting them all right.
I want to know who Shark is.
David B in second. The new board order has moved up into third place and is ready to spray paint your title belt. Oh, goodness, Shark, you better watch yourself. So much stroke. So much stroke. You're welcome, fellow wrestling nerds. To the rest of you, I'm sorry. As we move on to question 9, 200 points still up for grabs. Here we go. Question 9 of 10. Rock star or astronaut? Once again, remember our prize tonight sponsored by Crystal. Thanks, Crystal.
Hey, it's me.
And then another member of the NWO is in fact Shark.
Where did all of these NWO people come from?
This is how it happened on WCW. One day everything was fine, and the next thing you knew, everybody was in black and white shirts, and the whole show had been taken over. The only thing we had left was Sting, and eventually he turned.
Oh my gosh. I will admit, my wrestling knowledge is not great, but I do have a friend here in Vegas whose daughter, her initials are HHH for a very specific reason.
Oh, that is, wow.
Yeah.
That is, whoo, that's something.
Yep, sure is.
Also, Stephen noting, it's for life. Thank you. So Rockstar Astronaut, 88-13 on Rockstar. Crystal, talk to us about the who's, the what's, the where's, and why's. Let's make some people happy.
Okay, so yeah, rock stars are awesome, right? They're big, they're flashy, they're out there, they're singing music. They're really cool. But like, there's also rock stars that are not so cool and that do bad things, and they're, like, like whatever. Have you ever thought badly about an astronaut? I ask you. And the answer is no, because astronauts are the best. Come on, seriously. Rock stars are hit or miss, right? Like some are great, but some no. Astronauts are the coolest people on the planet. I wanted to go to space camp as a kid. I studied constellations when I was in elementary school and like got up in the middle of the night to watch meteor showers. I honestly, like, there is a part of me that wishes I had gone down a science route. I don't think that was the right decision for me because I am more of a creative person. Although astronauts have to do creative problem solving. So like,
that is true.
In another life, I think I may have been an astronaut, but yeah, I love them. And I think they are the coolest.
So let's see what this does. The new board order has taken over. Shark is finally falling apart. It is an 8-point game. David B, very close. I was going to say very close, but I wouldn't say very close, but close enough. 100 points sits on the final question. This is what we're doing. If we stopped right now, the new board order would have taken over, and you would have a copy of Fall Guys, thanks to Crystal. But we have one question left. This is your 10th and final question. Hands on buzzers. Stare at your phones. It can't get more serious. You have a chance to win that wonderful game. Here we go. A mermaid that shoots blinding lights from their hands, or a dragon driving a tank?
I will admit, this was the hardest question for me to answer, Bruce.
And
of all of the
last one in the game.
Yeah, of all the ones you sent me, this was the most difficult for me to answer. So anyone who answers this one wrong, you can't feel bad about it, because really it was tough.
Let's take a look. There's one thing coming in over here. If you like astronauts, Crystal, please tell me that you've read the Dr. McNinja webcomic.
I haven't. You should link me to that on Twitter, Darth Vader. I would love to see it.
Do that, Darth Grader. So the whole game sits on this. Mermaid that shoots blinding lights from their hands, or a dragon driving a tank. What's this look like?
Okay, so this was tough, and it looks like the chat actually overwhelmingly picks the mermaid, which kind of surprises me.
Yeah.
Because, so here's my initial thoughts when I read the question. I'm like, mermaids are awesome, clearly, and color-wise, they're my aesthetic. Yeah. But blinding lights from their hands, what does that actually do? And that was my initial thought there, and I was like, meh, whatever. Mm-hmm. So then I move on to dragon. I'm like, dragons are already awesome. And then it's a dragon driving a tank? That should be doubly awesome. But then I thought about it some more, and I was like, but wait, why would a dragon need to drive a tank? It seems superfluous. You don't need a tank, you're a dragon. And that mermaid with the blinding lights from her hands would put on a killer show, because she literally is her own lighting and hype. Literally, she is a show in and of herself. All those sparkles in her fin would just be shining under that light. And so the chat nailed it on this one for me. It is the mermaid that shoots blinding lights from her hands.
76% getting that one right. We're about to see what the final scores are. As a quick note, thank you all for taking the time to come out, be a part of this tonight. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow in all the same places you found me here. Doing It's Quiz Time. It's quiz time.
Quiz time.
Our largely picture-based quiz game. If you're missing bar trivia, it's a great thing to check out here on Board Game the Game Show. Please subscribe, follow, tell every human being you have ever met about this. And if you really like what I'm doing, go to coffee.com. Throw a few bucks in the tip jar. It is always appreciated.
And so Bruce was saying, tell everyone you know, and that sounds like hyperbole and a joke. But honestly, here's the thing. If you enjoy the content that Bruce is making, if you thought this was fun and you want to learn about more people that are board game content creators or whoever in the future, if you go on Facebook or Twitter or whatever and literally just say, hey, I watched this stream tonight and it was a lot of fun. Next week, check it out. Or tomorrow, check out the quiz thing. Even if only one person clicks on it, that's still one person that would not have discovered Bruce and his awesomeness. So please, go tell people if you enjoyed tonight's show. And not because of me. I'm not going to be on this mess again probably anytime soon because, whatever. That would be too much. But Bruce, tell them about Bruce. Do it.
Please. And I would also say if you're out there and there's people you want to see on the show, take the time to link them. Tell them about it. Tell them, hey, I saw it. I liked it. You should be on there because that's how I can get guests. But what you want to know is who won the game. I'm curious as well. Here we go. With 761 points, a 2-point victory. The new board order is your winner tonight. Shark 2 points away. Very hard to do in a game with a 100-point clock that counts down. Oh my goodness.
And all three of the top three people should be very proud of themselves because my sister, my actual natural biological sister, is in 4th place. So
also a note from Patricia, the Raspberry Racers. I'm an O'Rangers fan.
Ooh, and Oceanics for me.
Okay.
I love also that we can just spit out marble racing team names like that.
Oh, it's the pandemic. Once the pandemic hit, everybody became a marble racing fan.
I was watching Jelly's marble runs for a long time before the pandemic, and I'll be watching them for a long time after.
It's the thing I learned. It's Yell.
Wait, what?
The name is it's not.
Yell?
Now I'm really about to get real ignorant because I can't remember where he's from. I want to say the Netherlands. And it said Yell because I covered it over on Just Barely Sports and got an email where somebody was like, it was awesome. I'm glad to hear about it. He says the name Yell. It's actually a pretty popular name in that part of the world. Yell.
That's good to know. Now I'm going to share that info with other people. So I'm glad I know that now.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. When I learned it, I was like, I plan to share that with people.
Yup.
Apparently, Jay is a Midnight Wisps fan.
Ooh,
We got a Hazers fan here.
Okay.
Go Rangers! Yes, Gene gets it. Gene gets it. And a call for the Voodoo Child. Good work, New Board Order. Thank you so much, everybody that came out. We do it each and every week. We would love to see you. Once again, you already know all the things, hit the places, do the stuff. And then, Crystal, thank you not only for being on the show, but for providing the prize and just being wonderful.
You know, I try real hard at that. And I did see that there's some people on YouTube who were asking for the bunny ears. So I got to give the people what they want, right? Like,
you got to give them what they want.
This hat gives me no end of delight. And this is, like every time I put it on, it literally forces me to smile because I just love it so much.
I have to say, and now that you're here, I can say this, and this doesn't seem as creepy. I probably watched a GIF of you and Eric with those hats for, like, no joke, 10 minutes. Where I was like, that just makes me so happy.
So it was during one of the live shows at Dice Tower West, and Suze said something that we were like, huh? And so Eric did the ears, and then I did the ears, and then I leaned over to Eric, and I was like, Eric, let's do it together. And so we both went, huh? It was just so good. If you look up it's from Dice Tower West.
Yep.
This year. If you look up that on the Dice Towers YouTube channel, you can find the clip of it actually happening, and it's pretty funny to watch.
Oh, that is so awesome. Once again, thank you, everybody, for coming out. Crystal, thank you so much for being a part of this. And we will see you next time. And tell everybody where to find you, what to do. Tell them how to support your extra life. Get it in there, because I'm acting like everyone knows, and I think you should plug it. I'm sorry I didn't. I apologize.
You know what? I think you're totally fine, Bruce. I sometimes forget to plug myself, so I can't really judge. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of things lately. The Board Game Blitz podcast, which I've been doing for now 4.5 years with Ambi Valdez. Every 2 weeks on Thursdays is when those release, and we've been keeping it strong during the pandemic, even though playing board games is real hard right now. And then I also do Dice Tower Tonight, a live show not unlike this one on Wednesday, every other Wednesday evening on the Dice Towers YouTube channel. And we do play a live interactive game with the chat in every single episode where the chat gets to participate. It's not the same platform that Bruce is using here, but we have a lot of fun with that. And then, we are streaming on the Board Game Blitz Twitch channel. Ambi is streaming every Thursday evening, and I am streaming when I have the time. I'm going to be getting into a more regular schedule after I move into my new house. But yes, if you go to twitch.tv/boardgameblitz, even when we are not streaming, there will be links to our Extra Life page there. So if you are so inclined to donate to help Children's Miracle Network, you can do so there.
So fantastic to everybody out there. Thank you so much. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. with its quiz time. Between now and the next time I see you, go play something.
Bye.